the church I was first saved in, when I was 17, they taught that everyone's salvation well, it depends on you. God leverages people's eternal welfare on whether or not you will share Christ with them. It wasn't just Christ in our case, because we thought we were the only ones on the earth who were really saved. And so we had a special doctrine that we were supposed to be propagating. And so we had to evangelize everybody. And if we did, their blood was on our hands. Quoting some verse from Ezekiel, I forget where it is, but the watchers on the wall, if you don't tell them about their sin, then their blood's on your hands. So I had this picture in my mind that on the judgment day, I'd be out there and there'd be all these people, all the people in my senior high class, and they would say, Greg, we would have believed if only you would have told us the truth. Why didn't you? And I'd say, well, I was watching football that day. Or I was having a bad day. I was kind of grumpy. I didn't want to, talk about it. And so they're going to go to hell because I was grumpy, and I'm supposed to go to heaven and enjoy myself. And it was just not a very pleasant picture. But see, always wanted to be consistent. I, for about a year, tried to live that out. If you believe that, everyone's eternal salvation hangs on you, well, you'll become rather obnoxious. I'm sure I set the record, the most obnoxious senior high school student in park history. I brought my Bible to school every day and in between classes and during lunch, and it's so embarrassing when I think back on it. It was just like, why was I was so cool in 11th grade and so dirty in 12th grade. Going to my 20th reunion was, I can just picture people, I walk in there, and if they're thinking as I was in my final year at school, they want to steer clear of me, like, here he comes, here he comes. So I want to say, no, remember the cool rock drummer, that big afro, remember that one, not this senior high version of me. But they were all gracious, and it went well. But see, here's the thing. We may have some buzzers around that word, but if you look at this passage and the New Testament in general, evangelism doesn't mean anything like that. Collapse that picture, get rid of it. The New Testament presents us with a very, very different model of how we are to be good newsing, how we're to be bearers of the good news. And it has to just do with a lifestyle and a mindset. Paul says, be wise in the way that you conduct yourself with outsiders. So there's a mindset there. And he says, make the most of every opportunity. When he says be wise, basically what he's just saying is, remember that you are an ambassador of the kingdom. Remember that you're just not part of the crowd. There's always kingdom stuff happening. Remember that you're on assignment. Just remember your calling. Be wise about that. And then to conduct yourself in a way that's appropriate to the kingdom. And the kingdom always looks like the cross, right? It's always about self-sacrificial love. It's always about humility. And so this is never something we're supposed to put aside or check out. No, wherever we go, whoever we're talking to, whatever party we're at, whatever engagement, whatever social event, remember that you are the message of the kingdom, and so manifest the humility and the self-sacrificial love, the servant mindset of a kingdom person, and then be open to opportunities and make the most of them. We don't create the opportunities, God does.